Hi, everybody. Brad from Major Choice. Hope you're all doing well. So I keep getting the question, do you need to go to college to be a real estate agent? And I figured the best way to answer that would be to invite a good friend of mine and a longtime real estate agent, Chris Lefebvre, to our video today. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thanks, Brad. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to have you join us. So, Chris, I just want to keep this casual, but if it'd be great if you don't mind, just maybe giving us a little of your backstory, what you first started doing when you were in college, and what road you took to become a real estate agent.
Yeah, I don't know how much time you have. Like, is there a time limit on the video?
I don't want it to be too long.
So it's funny. Ever since I was really young, I've always been kind of an entrepreneur, but I didn't know it.
Uh-huh.
So in high school, I worked for a landscaper, and I liked it. It was outside. I was in good shape because we were always working, you know what I mean? And it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
So I had no idea what I was going to do after high school. And I told my girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, we've been together since high school. I said, Maggie, I think I'm going to start a landscaping company. And she's like, no, you don't want to do that. You know, you should go to college. And I was like, okay. So I ended up going to college. I went to UMass Lowell because it was the closest school.
Sure.
And at the time, I won't date myself, but it was a lot less expensive to go there then than it is now.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up going. I had no idea what I wanted to do, and I just kind of fell into engineering by accident. I just thought my dad was in computer programming, so
yep.
I was like, oh, this sounds interesting, and I liked math and stuff. So anyway, long story short, I got an engineering degree.
Okay.
And was in the industry for quite some time, over 10 years.
Okay.
In 12 years, full time working as an engineer. And I liked it, but there were things about it I didn't like. And what I didn't realize was it was my entrepreneurial spirit that made me not like being in a job. So it wasn't that I hated engineering or didn't like where I was working. It's that I was an entrepreneur and I didn't realize that I shouldn't be an employee.
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's kind of the backstory. So here I am working as an engineer, and then a good friend of our family came to visit, and he was an attorney at the time, and had his real estate broker's license. And as him and his mother were leaving, they're friends of Maggie's, my wife's family. He just happened to say, Chris, you should get in the real estate. You would like it. That's all he said to me. And I was like, oh. So I just said, well, what do I got to do? He's like, you just got to take a class and pass the test. I was like, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Yeah. So I guess that answers the question. You do not have to go to college to become a real estate agent. You have to take a class. Well, every state, there's federal laws in the United States and there's state laws. So I'm from Massachusetts, so I know the laws around here. So there may be differences in other states, but if you just Google, how to get a real estate license in Wyoming, it'll come up. It'll tell you what you need. But usually it's some combination of some classes and you take a test. The test includes mostly laws. So you need to be good at memorizing for the test. That's really what it is. And you need some basic math. You don't need like rocket science stuff. But you need to know some basic math, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, maybe basic algebra, percentages. So that's
helpful. Was the test hard? Did you consider it to be difficult?
I have always been a good test taker. I just studied and learned the material and then did a lot of practice tests. And hey, I know you said this is a casual video. I'm at home. So if you hear a dog bark or something,
no,
that's
cats,
what it
dogs,
is. So.
Family, as long as you don't mind, we don't mind.
No, I don't. But if you hear a dog bark, I don't want anyone to be annoyed. So, so anyway, where was I?
I was asking if you thought it was difficult. You said,
"Oh, yeah." So So I didn't find it difficult, and I'm not saying that to like brag or anything. Some people can pass tests real easy and other people can't. I just would recommend taking the test as soon after your class as possible.
Yeah.
While it's fresh, and take this practice exams. So just keep taking practice exams
Okay.
until you can pass them. Wherever, the pass fail rate is usually 70% on most of these tests.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
so you don't have to get every answer right. So if you do the practice test and you're getting 85s, 90s, there's a good chance you're going to pass.
How long did it take you to do go from engineering to real estate? And what was that process?
Well, I started in real estate part-time. I got the license, and then if you want to be a real estate agent, there's pros and cons to it. Most of the people when you get your license, you have to work under a broker.
Okay.
So you have to pick a brokerage to work with. There's tons of them. I'm with EXP Realty.
Okay.
Been with them over 10 years, but there's all sorts of brokers. So when you first get your license, in every state that I know of, you have to work under a broker for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could get your broker license. But
okay. Okay.
Yeah. Every state's different again, but most states have like a lower level license where you're called a salesperson or some variant of that.
Okay.
And a broker's license where you can technically open your own office and be completely independent of everyone else. So that's the difference between the two licenses. But so where was I going with that, Brad? I was
going to ask you, I have another question for you, if you don't mind. If you're a high school student graduating, could you go right into real estate?
Yeah. So the age, you have to be 18 to be able to get your license. So, and again, I don't know the laws of every state, but around my area, I have 4 licenses. I got 4 different states because we're in New England. They're all close together.
Right.
So each state's got its own law. But as far as I know, it's 18 years old. And if you could take the class and pass the test, you can get in. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to be successful right away. One of the things about being a real estate agent is you're self-employed, really.
Yep.
So if you don't do the work, you're not going to make any money. It's commission.
What's the work entail?
All right. Well, everyone, I think, thinks that real estate is selling houses, but it's really not what you're doing. You're helping people buy and sell houses. It's different.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have a listing, that means a seller's hired you to sell their house. You're doing some marketing to sell that house. And you have all sorts of things you have to know. Basically you need to memorize or learn as fast as you can all the stuff that can go wrong, because someone's paying you to keep that stuff from happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's like going to a doctor and they say, okay, this is what we got to do. And we got to watch out for this and that and this, don't eat this food or you're going to be in trouble. Or so the job of the agent is to, help the client meet their goals, whatever it is, either sell a house, buy a house. Sometimes it's renting or leasing. And then there's actually a whole nother division of commercial real estate that you can get into, which is a little bit more business background for commercial side is helpful.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a little bit more math involved with that, because now you're looking at investment returns and things like that. So there's a lot of little niches in this industry.
Should students consider college if they're going into commercial property?
You don't need to, but having a good understanding of business would help.
Okay. That makes sense.
If you were there's nothing going to college is not going to hurt you if you go into real estate.
Right.
You're going to learn some skills. The things you want to learn though are marketing is a huge part, and you have to market yourself so you can get business, and you have to learn how to market homes. In the market conditions we're in right now, it's pretty easy to sell a home.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the markets are bad. Like if you go back to 2008 and 2009, it was horrible. Mm-hmm. It was very difficult to sell houses. So you have to work a lot harder to market a home to sell it. Right now, you almost just have to list it and it'll sell pretty quick.
So
with marketing is huge. You got to learn how to market yourself and market the homes, and you need to know how to get leads for yourself.
But ultimately, you don't need to go to college to be a real estate agent. It's not necessary. Okay.
No.
I'm curious, how much of your engineering degree do you use today?
Well, there's a lot of stuff I learned in there that I'll never waste. I mean, I specialize in polymers, so it helps me when I put the recycling out. Know how to separate it, right?
Yeah.
No,
yeah, right.
I've done some consulting here and there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
okay. That's good.
The main thing for me was I was an entrepreneur and I didn't know it.
Yeah.
And you can be an entrepreneur without going to college. There's plenty of people that don't go to college and they're entrepreneurs or self-employed people. But you can go to college too, and that'll help you. It just depends on what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But,
well, that's what this program is all about, is to help students figure out their direction, career path, and ultimately, should they go to college? And if they clearly want to become a real estate agent, there's a big question as to whether, it's necessary to rack up that debt. Maybe they can go and look to get courses elsewhere. I mean, it's just a fact that I think with classes being as expensive as they are, they need to have that thought process, So
yeah, I think it's great what you guys are doing, helping people find their direction. It's really needed.
Thank you.
A lot of people I know just change directions multiple times, as they get older, and it's painful sometimes, to like just kind of be like, oh, I wasted all this getting this other degree.
I know. Yeah.
Especially now, just because college costs have gone up, they skyrocketed.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy in my mind. It's crazy to step foot onto a college campus without having an exact idea of what you're pursuing. It's too expensive.
I went to school in the mid '90s, so state schools in-state tuition back then was under $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now what's a year running? 25, 40,000?
Yeah, it depends on the type of school, but it can get upwards of 50 to 60,000 if you believe it. Private.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money. Yeah.
So anyways, long story short, yeah, you can get into real estate without being in college. Matter of fact, I've heard of people getting their real estate license to pay for college. They actually got into it to make money while they were in school.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Well, thanks for bringing that up.
The biggest thing you got to realize is that the time that you're working as a real estate agent is mostly nights and weekends. So if you're the type of person that wants to have the weekend off and the evenings off, it might not be for you.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, it's making money, making a name for yourself versus somebody else as a job, which you have to weigh that as well. So, but
I think you guys covered this a little, right? Whether you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, we do talk about that. Absolutely. It's a big part of the program. Yeah. Yeah. And whether or not should they go to school? If so, which major, which career path, and a lot of self-reflection. So we try to cover it all just in case, because you never know. It's once you get out there and start paying those tuition bills, you want to make sure, again, that you've made the right decision. So,
well, I don't know how you guys work the magic, but if you could identify that you're an entrepreneur personality or you get that drive in you.
Yeah.
The earlier, the better, because I mean, look at some of the huge industrial leaders of our time now, or technology company founders and leaders. So a lot of them didn't go to college.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a big part of what we do. So, well, hey, thank you, Chris. I really appreciate your time tonight. And hopefully our viewers find this video informative and can use this to help them and they're making their decisions. And if for any reason you're a high school or college student that is still trying to figure out your career path or which way you should go, check out majorchoice.com. We'd love to talk to you. You can apply and we can talk to see if it's a fit. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And thanks again, Chris. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Bye.
All right. Take care. Bye.